We have arrived. We have arrived, people, at that game. At that game, we have arrived. Very reminiscent of your Leicester beating for Lampard and Mourinho, actually. Very reminiscent with their final games. You must beat Southampton at home. You must. It's inexcusable, unacceptable, distasteful, disgusting, dismantling of our football club at home to Southampton in a game where we were actually outplayed for a lot of it. And we never looked like scoring. Apart from these moments where, yes, the ball was cleared off the line. But I'm talking about after Azpilicueta, who I hope is very well and I hope he's okay, because that would look like an awful head injury. So I want to make that very clear from the jump, because his situation is more important than any 3 points. And it's not, I've not seen anything as bad as that since John Terry probably, and maybe Petr Cech. So in terms of just the longevity of how long he was down on the floor for. So I'm very worried about him. So hopefully we get good news on that. The performance though is just a disgrace. It's just a fucking disgrace, guys. I mean, how do you lose at home to Southampton? How do you even work that one out? How did you make that happen? And I'm not just talking about the manager, who I'm going to get onto. I'm going to get onto in a minute. The players, everybody, the backroom staff, everybody, the ownership. How do you lose another fixture? How do you find it within yourselves as a community, as an institution, to lose at home to Southampton at home? How'd you do it? I would love to know, how did you actually make that happen? That lineup from the very get-go, already I knew it was going to be a long day. A long day. Yesterday, we hear in the late hours that this player's being rested and this player's being rested. What do you mean rested? This is a must-win match at home to Southampton, who are bottom of the league. This is huge. I don't care about what's happening against Dortmund. Bearing in mind, we have a whole week off after this game is over. How do you find it within your heart and soul? How do you muster the strength to rest that many players when really this game is pinnacle, definitive for you as a manager? You find it, and your backroom staff, all of you together, kumbaya in this, because you all came together so you could all leave together. How do you find it within yourselves to rest that many players when you know this game is a must win? Under no circumstances does anybody want to hear about XGFC today. I don't want to hear that's life. This performance was the afterlife. I don't want to hear about nothing. Nothing but a cussing and a crucifying for that performance. So you rest a load of players. I look at their lineup. I start with that. Graham Potter, Azpilicueta and Koulibaly on the right hand side. Disaster. A disaster waiting to happen. The build-up play was non-existent. And all of the good work that we had done in the last couple of games, finitoed. Absolutely evaporated. What was the point in playing back-to-back fixtures, West Ham and Dortmund, and taking positives with some of the relationships, chemistries, understandings, cohesion that we had built, to throw it all away for this game where, in theory, it should have been easier to navigate through this game, because this opposition is nowhere near of the level of the opposition we faced. So you've gone backwards today. Somehow we've actually managed to get worse. I don't even know how that's possible. And I've said it leading up to this, when I've defended you, when I've defended giving him more time, because I'm a very patient person. I like to give people as much time as possible to do what they were hired to do in any walk of life. I think you deserve an opportunity. Even if I didn't want your ass in the first place, I would like to see no stone left unturned. And I'm more patient than others. But that is a sackable offence. Not in the Roman era, in any era, in any era, in any ownership, with any pride, with any sort of standards, that performance and that lineup and that game in an entirety that whole situation is inexcusable. It's a sackable offence, and nobody can really say it's not. I've been very kind. I've been looking for the positives. There have been positives, but the way that you just sacrificed the whole game, sacrificial lamb, to the Saints. The Saints were on devilish shit today. How do you make that happen? So the right-hand side, there's no build-up, and it shows in the playing areas in the first half when I checked. No build-up play down the right. Most of the build-up coming down the left. Badiashile, Koulibaly, I was worried about that partnership. Badiashile's made 2 individual errors in that first half, looking shaky. I'm not saying it's due to Koulibaly, but I'm not saying it ain't, because I don't know where that came from. When he was next to Silva, there was no problems. It's like some sort of disease spreading amongst the team. The new players are catching it now. What's going on? It's so contagious. Confident players are now lacking confidence or lacking the basics. João Felix today as well. I saw a loose touch. I thought, wow, now you're a Chelsea player. Now you are a Chelsea player. You've been confident. You've been playing on instinct. You've not been playing amongst what we've been making in terms of the mess. Now you are a Chelsea player because you have now been thrown into the trenches, into the mud, surrounded, drenched in it, and you now will breathe it in, and you will breathe this in. This is Chelsea. Welcome. Welcome. Now you are one of us. Just like Sterling, just like anybody else who's joined, who had a little ounce of confidence, a little ounce of something special, some ingredients. The cake is fully burnt today, fully burnt. So now we go to midfield. There's no balance. I never liked the Kova-Enzo partnership. I never thought it was going to work. It's not balanced. Both of them are players that are best next to a sitter, so we don't even need to bother with that. But it is what it is, because I don't know the fitness situation of Zakaria and whatnot. I don't know why Trevor doesn't start this game at right back, considering the performance he put in before Reece James was back. But that is, again, Graham Potter. Don't know what you're doing there. Don't get it. Mason Mount starts today on the left wing. Felix in the middle. But Fofana up top with Madueke on the right. Now, Mason Mount was anonymous today, but again, he's playing out of position. When we have a performance this bad, I can't even be asked, to be honest. I can't even be asked with that anymore, because I didn't have him starting. He's not a left winger. He's playing out of position. He was ineffective as hell. Didn't do anything in this match. Cool. I've made peace with it. I don't really care anymore. So Fofana looked rusty, or Fofana had some moments where he tried to make runs, but as I've been saying, when he comes into the team, expect the unexpected. Expect some moments of not really ready, are we? Not really ready, are you? So that happens, right? So that happened, and we didn't score again today. Now, yes, some shots were cleared off the line, and there were some moments of near misses, but I don't care. It's not good enough. We are at home to Southampton. We had to win the match. You lost to the team at the bottom of the table. The Premier League season is sacrificed. People asking me about top 4 credentials. I said walk before you run. And one of the reasons I said that is because this manager, I'm still getting to grips with you. I'm not familiar with your game in a Chelsea dugout. I didn't ask for you to be here. I just kind of said, okay, you're here now. I'm going to get behind you, as I do with any player or any manager that comes into this football club. I get behind them from the beginning. I let you lose my trust, not the other way around. I tried to start off on a good note. I tried to say, do you know what? This is fresh start. So whatever happens, I'm hoping the best for you. I'm going to cheer you on. And if you start showing me crap, continuous crap, then I'm going to start to lose my patience. But I always start off with propaganda or some sort of praise, and I try to find the positives from the beginning, because it's very early doors, very, very early doors for you, Graham Potter. But you need to understand that this is not on. And to be honest, if you were on a 5-year contract and you were on something normal for what you are as a manager and what the overall expectations of you to do in this level of job, which is really cleanse the team, as I've been saying, cleanse the team, clear out the team, try and get us playing a good standard of football, good style of football. And then if you don't have the nitty gritty, if you don't have the extra 10%, if you don't have the winning, or if the winning side of it, if you don't have the extra tactical nous that you need in Champions League, if you can't take us that final step to win things, then fair enough, we part ways and we keep it moving. At least your periods stand for something. But with performances like that, where you take it backwards, you move little, and I mean small strides, because I was very careful not to hype up the Dortmund performance too much on All You Can Eat Chelsea, because they played a much more open, expansive game. There was a lot more space to run into. It was a lot more end-to-end. So of course we're going to create more chances. That for me is not purely down to the system, not purely down to progression. That is purely down to the game how it unfolded and the amount of space that there was on transitions. And we saw the same against Manchester City at the Etihad in the Carabao Cup win, in the Carabao Cup defeat, the 2-0 defeat. But we created just as many chances as them, we looked just as good as them, we just couldn't finish. It's these games where you're up against the Southampton, who, to be honest, bossed the first half, dominated. Second half, yes, we had our possession then, but we didn't do enough with it. And we got outclassed. And it's so hilarious that the first two things I predicted was Koulibaly's going to get a yellow card and we're going to concede to James Ward-Prowse. The free kick from the edge of the area, you know exactly what he's on. You know exactly what he's on in this position. It is literally carbon copy, basics. Just as basic as letting Willian cut in on your right foot. But yet we give away these stupid free kicks outside the box and we concede. And we deserve to lose. I am actually just, with 10-15 minutes to go, I said, just wrap this game up. I don't need to see any more. Again, I know we're not going to score. Wrap it up, give Southampton their 3 points and keep it stepping. The only reason why I'm not going to say, get rid of him right now is not actually because I believe in him as an individual at this point. It's because I don't have a replacement. I don't know who you actually bring in. And I don't know how mathematically you can even get rid of someone on a 5-year contract making 12 million a year. And I'm not even including the backroom stuff. So, stubbornness has got to go out the window because this board and ownership have already made it clear, or at least reportedly, that the first window there was some errors in terms of recruitment. Aubameyang, maybe Koulibaly. But again, I'm lenient because I understand that a takeover is very difficult just before a window opens. The recruitment team is not there. You're making and looking to make wholesale changes so everybody's moving in one direction. And that window was very rarely going to actually be a great window in terms of the first window out the door with no prep done, no networking, I understand how it could go left, especially when you end up sacking a manager a couple of weeks after the window closes for some players that you bought specifically for him. But I'm not going to be spoiled. I'm more than able to go through the roughs, to go through the pains, to bide my time in 10th. Suck it up, as they say. But now, a 5-year contract. No pressure to prove. And this is where I get onto the board because we can get onto Potter. I've already got onto Potter for everything that he's done today. The team shambolic. The team have to take responsibility. You are quality individuals. You're meant to be anyway. And you put in a performance like this. It's disgusting. Even though some of you are out of position, I put more blame actually on the manager now than the players in a game like that, in a performance like that, because it was just the team that he put out was just disgusting. But you put no pressure. And I'm not saying that we all want the long, I'm sure a lot of us want the long term, but you have to put some kind of pressure on the manager to win football matches now. You can't just say that's life. You can't just say every single game it doesn't matter. More than writing off the season at this point, we are not at 40 points. People think I'm joking around. We're not at 40 points. And if you can't beat the team at the bottom of the table, I have no confidence now going into any more matches that you can win. Tottenham away. You're taking all confidence out of me. This performance has taken all confidence out of me. I can't tell you where the next point's coming from. The next win. I can't, because look how long I've been searching for the W settings. Look how long I've been waiting for a win. I thought today, of all days, with the right lineup, with the right setup, with the right system, we would win. And we still managed to fuck that up by putting out the wrong team with a whole heap of liabilities and weaknesses within it, and then a performance to match. First, second, third phase, all of it trash. So I can't tell you I can't tell you to buy into this in terms of the manager. I can't tell you where the next win's coming from. And you give him such a cushion and compensation with a long contract. After having already made some mistakes early on, which like I said, are understandable, this may have to go down as another L. Another L early on. Because I know who I rated higher. I know where my allegiances were in terms of which manager prior to this one. I know where my love stood for and where my loyalty stood for. But I understood, cool, you might not be able to work together because you're just two polar opposites, cool. But when you hire your new manager and you give them a 5-year contract on this amount of money, way overpaid, by the way, from what I'm witnessing, way overpaid. Let's not even lie about that. You want to bring the wage bill down? He is way overpaid. 12 million a year. 12 million a year for a manager that we're still working out and trying to see along the way if you're going to, there's some questions to be answered. First time in a big job. 12 million a year, 60 million pounds. You have to be so sure that this is the right decision. Your first decision has to be the complete correct decision on that amount of money. And if you've made a mistake, again, I'm not going to be spoiled. If you've made an error, everybody makes errors. It's cool. We can fix this, but we can't, because look how much he's on. So you can't. So you actually have no choice. You know, what are you actually going to do? What are you know, I would love to create a manager meter. I would love to do this like FIFA career mode, where I could say critical and whatever the other steps are, from green all the way to red, through amber, through orange, you know, because a lot of the time it's in, out, what cult are you in? Like I've said already, I'd love to be able to have a manager meter for Graham Potter right now. You've now started the manager meter. Welcome to the manager meter. Your job is at critical. Red. And I'm not saying get rid of you right now, because we don't have a replacement. I'm very much about solutions. I say it all the time in my private life. I'm very about solutions. I don't just look for problems, I look for solutions. So until I have somebody, but best believe it's time to start looking. Because if he keeps losing, there's a certain threshold that I've always said you can't go below. And you're pissing me off now. You're really playing with that threshold, because we are not on 40 points. And I'm not saying we're going to get relegated, but I'm saying you shouldn't even be talking to that part of the table. But people, don't mug off this Premier League. We just lost to the bottom team. People said, oh, how can you not talk about top four yet? Because we're yet to get ahead of Brighton, Brentford and Southampton. We're not clawing back points on these teams. We're only losing points on these teams every single week. So I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to be humble about this. 40 points is still the target, which is a mad piss take, but it's the truth. And let me tell you something. If you keep losing, we need to be working on alternatives. No manager bounce exists. People are winning games without managers. Southampton today had no manager and they won at our place 1-0 with a clean sheet and a good performance. My brother, you are in serious critical you are in serious hell. I don't know what your post-match interview is going to be saying, but you are going to have to do something to get me back on side, because right now I'm not on with this. I cannot sit here and lie into the camera and tell you that this is all going to be okay. I've tried my very best to look for positives, but that performance has pissed me off to the nth degree. The decisions have pissed me off to the nth degree. And it's like group thinking. You have a coaching staff and yourself, and none of you thought that this was such a must-win game that you have to not put out that team. I'm sorry. So right now, I'm not involved. You have to walk out there on your own and handle that shit. And I'm looking for alternatives. The videos will come on who can potentially take us forward. Because if you keep doing this, I need to have a plan. I need an exit plan, because I'm not going to keep watching performances like that, and we as sure as hell ain't going to keep losing games. You're going to have to hold that L with that compensation package if this shit doesn't improve. Simple as that. You're going to have to pay it. You're going to have to pay that shit out. You're going to have to come to some sort of mutual agreement. You have to hope that this man has some pride and that he's not looking for his peas, because that, no way. That's all I've got to say. Disgraceful, disgusting result. Unacceptable, inexcusable, no excuses, nothing. I don't want to hear shit. In that, do you know what? I don't even know if I want to hear the post-match. I'm good. I don't even know if I want to see the quotes, because if I hear any nonsense in this post-match, long day. In a bit, people. Peace.